Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the TP-LINK UK Invitational semi-final number 1 between TEC and Orbit. Hopefully the Epsilon versus DV gaming match will be going live soon. We will be bringing you that game as soon as we can, but of course we're going to stick on board with this series until it's over, because it's looking like it could be a very close one, although TEC, with their performance on Search and Destroy, are going to be wanting to close this one out instantly, although Wonder does go down straight away there, so instantly switching on board with Robs at the second, who's just doing some defensive work. So if you are just joining us, the score is 3-2, TEC taking both Search and Destroys, and it's looking very good between these two squads so far. It looks like it could go right down to the wire, but Jacko's already having a great game. He's 2-0 at the second. He's going to be making his way right down the back. He's going to find a third player there. Does take him out, gets the first point on the board, and Tunny is 1-0 to Orbit.
Yeah, Jacko lagging a bit on my screen. I don't know if it was just me, but he did manage to get that point in. Yeah, so a 4-point streak for him. Maybe the lag helped him a little bit. There you go, 2-0 up now to Orbit. And Orbit seems very good at Blitz at the moment, you know, coming in there without a first win. It was a patient, very passive win for them, but they did manage to get it. Lewis with a good kill there on the Robs. So he's pushing through currently on a 4 streak as well, hasn't died. But the devil does actually get taken down. On board with Endura. They seem to play very well. They seem to just take their time about things, get the flag caps when they need it, and trade when they need it. And they've done very well so far. 3 minutes and 35 seconds coming up on the clock. Currently 2-0 to Orbit in this Blitz game. Currently the advantage is to TEC, who are currently 3-2 up.
Yep, indeed. So Endura is going to get taken out finally there. So Jake, who hasn't actually died yet, he's doing the base defensive work. I did wonder for a minute if everybody would be using MTARs across the board, but this is kind of what you'd expect usually on Blitz Octane. Now it seems you just have that one player playing defensively, maybe with an assault rifle of some form, and I mean, like the other kind of opposing player I would have thought who would be battling Jake in this position would be realised usually, but we'll see what else is going to happen. But Jake really not too much actually going his way, so let's switch away from him, and we're going to switch right on top of the team for the Orbits, for the TEC squad, sorry, which is actually going to be Moose, who's 5 and 4 at the second. And TC haven't had the best of starts with the slaying game so far. Moose, the actual only player to get off 1 kill in the first 2.5 minutes or so, and he is going to pick up another one there as they do start to catch up. Endura's going to be the last one left alive, and he takes down Moose just as he was about to get their first point on the board. So as you can see at the top, the score is now 3-1, as that's actually going to be Wonder who gets the first point on the board, but still on board with Realise at the second, moving his way up into top rope, and he's going to find a player there towards bottom strip club. Is he going to get the second? Puts a lot of shots down, does manage to pick up that kill with 1 bullet left in his magazine. So that's great work to start to get that slaying power up. That's what they needed. They didn't have the best of starts, Tony, but it looks like the comebacks could maybe potentially be starting to come into play.
Oh, but we realise now shot's going to go down. Does take down Jake, 2 minutes remaining. If you have a look at the minimap in the top left corner, it does seem as if it is TEC with a bit of control, although 2 members have actually went down. Realise that Rob's the only members left alive momentarily as the rest of them do respawn. Realise putting a shot across the map here. He's sniping with that Remington, just looking behind that block. Alpha more than able, you could see he was just managing to escape there, but the enemy has scored once again. Currently has no ammo, Realise, so he needs to look for a knife kill or get himself some ammo. As he does push up down this right hand side to go and create a little bit more pressure, going to pick himself up some ammo now as TEC converge in on Orbit's point. At the moment, shot's going to go down. Jake does take down Moose. A little bit late from realising the clean up there, but he might be able to get a point on the board for his team here. There's some work to do, though. It does manage to take down Jacko. Is there going to be anybody else? No, there is not. TEC get a point on the board, as do Orbit, who are trying to stack up, but TEC are actually the ones with the pressure. And it is actually going to be Moose who's alive next to the point here. We're going to jump straight on that one and help this team defensively if he needs to. Does not. 5-3 now, 1 minute remaining. Can TEC bring this back?
I just think the start that they got was really been the downfall so far, because since, you know, TEC have started to get their slaying power going up, and Realise they're actually on a 9 streak at the second, so he's playing incredibly well. You know, up until that point, Orbit were just pretty much all over them. So let's switch on board with Robs at the second. Is he going to be able to get another point on the board? No, he's not. He gets taken down. Lewis gets a knife into the back of Moose, it seems, as well. So over onto Lewis for Orbit in the second. He's on a 3 streak, and you can see him on your screen just making his way through the bottom of Pawn Shop. Let's see if he can push through, if he's going to spot any players, but TEC have come right back into this game. It looked like Orbit were going to take this one, maybe quite convincingly. Great kill from Lewis there, but it's 6-5. Is it going to be 7-5? We're about to find out. He does need to reload his weapon, doesn't even matter, he can kill them in just as little bullets as that. 20 seconds left on the clock. He's going to try and push in here, but his teammate's already pushed in, which means that he's got to hide, because of course that portal area does have to kind of reload, so to speak, or regenerate, whatever you want to call it. He's going to run in there though, 8-6 it is. With 7 seconds left on the clock, it looks like it could be a 2-point difference between these two squads. And this is always a great decision here, Ton, I have to say. As soon as you respawn up, after you manage to capture, you try and rotate back to the base to make sure that you can do some defensive work. It takes us back to the days of CTF when that's what you needed to do after you respawned.
Yeah, I think it's sort of attack can be the best form of defense. If you push in there, get a point on the board, then you're there to defend for your team all the way back. So I suppose you have to think of that. And there you go, Tech do actually go down 2 points. So there you go, it's going to be 8-6 to Orbit. Realize having a pretty good game, but Rob's 3-13. I know he's the objective guy, but you do need to make a few more kills than that. Let's go on board with him, actually, see if he can get himself off that. Yeah, 3-13. I mean, it's not great from a player like Rob's. I mean, you expect a little bit more.
Yeah, you would, and I mean, although he's not the type of player to really do the most amount of slaying on the team, but he is the most to get objective, points, and that's the thing. As soon as I do say that, he does pick up a 2-piece. So obviously the commentator's curse coming in big there. He's going to make his way through the shop. Does unfortunately not spot that player, but Wanda already on a 4 streak. So let's switch up to him. Oh, he does go down as well. Realize we'll switch down to him. He's doing some defensive work once again. Moose is actually in the middle of a smoke grenade right now. He does still pick up a kill on to Endura, but Realize the only real standout player so far, I have to say, for Tech. He's 13-6, but having a look at the captures overall, Lewis is really doing that work. He's getting some good frags on the board. He's 12-8, but he's also got 4 captures, so he's probably the standout player overall, I would say, in this game. But as you saw, talked about earlier, the original point, Robs definitely does need to start to pick it up a bit.
Well, I'm currently on board with Moose actually pushing through the middle of the map. I have switched it up, Realize being very defensive. Robs has managed to pick up the kill onto Lewis, on board with Moose now. The killer is going to pick that up. He has another one to his left hand side. Not going to matter because his teammate is going to clean it up. Rob's getting a point on the board as well as a kill, so stepping up his game a little bit. 8-14 from him now, currently on a 4 streak. And I do believe 2 of them are actually captures. Anyway, he's going to do some defensive work for his team. Good kill by him there, just taking out Lewis in time. Endura just about took out Wonder on the point, so 7-8 is going to be the score in favour of Orbit, who have a player being a little bit sneaky at the back here. Does get taken down. It was actually Jacko. Lewis coming in the kill onto Robs. I'm back on board with Moose though. Grenade in hand, and of course the European champions at the moment, TCM. Undisputed best team in Europe at the moment. If you want to count tournaments anyway, I think Epsilon will have something to say about that, but on board with Moose anyway. See what he can do pushing down this right hand side.
Yep, indeed. So we'll see if he can push in here. He does meet up with the player. Great drop shot to the floor, taking out Jacko. Exactly what you would expect from him, and he's been playing so well recently. He was, of course, the MVP at the EU Championships as well. Not only did he win it, he managed to take home the coveted prize of the most valuable player as well. So let's switch back over on board with Orbit. They have got the lead. It's a slim lead though. It's 8-7. Got 2 minutes 47 seconds left on the clock. So I'm going to switch down to Jacko. Actually, he's going to be the man on my screen for the next few seconds. Anyway, starting to make his way over towards the left-hand side of the map, just doing some defensive work for the second. With Vector, he's not actually going to meet up with anybody right now, so he may switch away from him, but he actually is going to start to push forward slightly. There is actually going to be a player just to his left when he pushes through here. You can see who that's going to be. Are they going to see him? I don't know who that actually is. I think it's Realize who's just to his left. They do eventually spot him there, and the enemy has scored, which means that the score is all even, so it's 8-8. 2 minutes 17 seconds left on the clock. This is going to be big, Tony. These next 2 minutes could really play quite a big factor, because these next 2 minutes are going to be the difference between a 3-3 series or a 4-2 series, which means that Tech would only be 1 map away from winning. Yeah, well, on board with Jacko now. Just try to do some defensive work, attacking work for his team there. He's managed to get the score down. That's going to be 10-9 now. Both teams really stacked up at one point there, but things have resumed their normal course. Realize taking down Endura with a headshot, as does Lewis do to Realize himself. Moose coming in there with a kill onto Lewis. Bit of lag on board with Jacko, so I'm going to jump away from him, and I'm on board with new recruit Jake. Got some defensive work to do as Tech are really rushing forward now. They've got 1 minute and 30 seconds coming up on that clock. They are 1 capture down, but good defensive work by Orbit once again, who are going to regain some map control. Jake pushing out of his base a little bit now. Has some work to do in the mid-map there. Does pick up 1 kill as Realize and Cole from TEC do manage to take down 3 members of the Orbit team. Orbit are there to defend. Jake does go down to Moose though. I'm on board with Robs. Yep, so Robs has definitely picked up his game in the second half. We saw him about 3-13 at one point, and since then he's now 14 and 19, so I'm not quite sure what the math is on that. I haven't got time to work it out, but he's also got 5 captures to his name as well, so he's really been a beneficial factor in some respects. Realize going 17 and 10. He's going to drop those, so we're going to switch down to Wander, who does pick up a kill there onto Jake. That was going to have to reload his MTAR, not going to work there in time. So once again, switching down, yeah, it is 10-10 with 46 seconds left on the clock. Moves, the player with the highest amount of kills in the game so far, 20-17 is his score. Only 1 capture on the board. It's going to make it in 21 though. Great work coming in overall, they're going to... Oh, wow, that was great defensive work there. Managing to take 3 down. They noticed that there was going to be a player coming from the right. Obviously, somebody must have called it out. 2 of them went back to defend. Moose on a 3 streak right now, but it's 10-10. And Ton, if this ends the way it is, I think we could be replaying the map.
I think we're going to be here till probably 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we are. We're going to be here all night. We might as well just settle in, Ton.
On board with Moose now as TEC are trying for a final little push. Don't think it's going to happen though, as it does seem as if Orbit are really just going to try and defend this now. And I'd imagine we're going to go to a replay as Lewis just really defends 10-10 there. So a good game between these teams. And we're going to a match replay.
Yeah, we are indeed. So very interesting indeed that that seemed to happen, like with the way that Orbit started off. It looked like they were going to be really strong and it looked like they could kind of keep up that momentum and get their way through, but not the case. TEC managed to pick up their game, especially Rob's there. As you can see, 10-10 is your final score, which means that we will be replaying this map again, and as Tony said, it looks like we definitely could be here all night.
Well, we are going to go for a very, very quick break as we do get this restarted up. Do not go anywhere, and the replay